This is Dennis McMahon, and welcome to Positively Vermont. And today, my special guest is Sandy Thibault, the Executive Director of the Chittenden Area Transportation Management Association. Talking about some exciting operations that group has, as well as a very interesting summit coming up in a few weeks. But first of all, Sandy, tell us about yourself.
Sure, great. And thank you so much for having me. My name is Sandy Thibault, Executive Director at CATMA, as you just mentioned. I've been with CATMA for 23 years, and Executive Director for the past 13 years. I started as a part-time staffer, and it's been really rewarding to help shape the strategy and advance some meaningful change around transportation and mobility. And I think what excites me the most at CATMA is helping people get to where they need to go, whether it's to work, to school, to appointments, in ways that are healthier, more sustainable, and really support an individual's quality of life. Before CATMA, I worked for a Vermont electric utility for 10 years in the corporate and government relations area. And it really instilled on me the value of strong community partnerships, which is really essential and a good goal for CATMA. So that's just a little bit about myself.
Well, tell us about the organization, what it does, and who does it consist of, and what its goal is generally.
Sure. So CATMA is a nonprofit membership-based organization. We were founded in 1992 by the three Burlington Hill institutions, Champlain College, the University of Vermont, and UVM Medical Center. And they formed CATMA in order to jointly plan transportation and parking to reduce congestion and better coordinate land use. In 2015, CATMA expanded beyond the Hill institutions to support businesses, developers, and municipalities in Chittenden County and navigating transportation solutions and who want to inspire their employees or their residents to use alternative transportation options, such as biking, walking, taking the bus, carpooling, vanpool. And we also created in our regional expansion a transportation coordinator network. And this now has about 100 members, and it provides organizations an opportunity to learn and engage in the transportation conversation. It is a free program. An organization simply needs to designate someone at their worksite to serve as the coordinator. I also want to mention that CATMA is not unique as a transportation management association. There are two TMAs in Vermont. There's CATMA and there's the Upper Valley TMA, and there's about 125 TMAs in the country. And they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes and provide various services, but they all have a goal to reduce single occupant vehicles. So CATMA is not unique. But here in Vermont, we're small. And at the moment, there are two TMAs in Vermont. This spring, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, you go ahead.
I was going to say this spring, we updated our 5-year strategic business plan and we gathered stakeholder input. We had a organizational assessment, and for as a trusted legacy organization, it's really critical that we adapt to the shifting environment while continuing to deliver value to our members and the region. Our mission is to lead and collaborate with public and private partners to advance transportation options that build a more connected, resilient, and sustainable network for our members and the regions. I will say our strategic plan is based on 5 pillars: enhanced value, advocacy and education, strengthened identity, building capacity, and measuring impact. So we just finalized the plan this spring, and we've already begun implementing some of the actions in it, and we'll continue to review it and modify it as that's a little bit about CATMA and what we do, what we've done, and where we're going.
And tell us, just give us an overall about the transportation picture in Chittenden County and beyond right now. Due to COVID, there's been all kinds of changes. People have had also issues like construction, bike lanes, major highway construction. How is it for people getting around right now, and also for businesses to make deliveries and things like that? There are the daily frustrations, but maybe you can give us an overall picture of the health of transportation in Chittenden County.
Sure. So as far as transportation options here in Chittenden County, we have Green Mountain Transit, which is our urban transportation system. And they continue to assess where the needs are in our region. There's a lot of development that is on the horizon and that has been built on the ground here. Where people are traveling for their work, even if it's 2 days a week because they are working remotely or have a hybrid schedule, they still need to get to work a couple days a week. So Green Mountain Transit is very open to understanding what the needs are. And CATMA has been a really close partner of Green Mountain Transit for decades. And we provide them with data, collective data on our membership and what schedules are, peak times, and where people are headed to work. Car Share Vermont is another great service here in the Burlington area. They also have a couple of cars in Winooski. Car share is not the same as carpooling. Car share is designed for people to either be a one-car household or a no car household, and it provides them an option to reserve a vehicle when they need it, for errands, for trucks. So that it's a really great service that also complements our network. We have some great bike ped infrastructure in place in the county, and we rely on Locomotion, our bike walk advocacy group, to help provide support and education on how to ride a bike safely in our community. So we have bike, ped, car share, and Green Mountain Transit, and they all continue to assess their services and adapt to the changing needs and the dynamics of our region.
I notice you have a number of partners and participants and organizations that you work with, and it's a huge list. Tell us a little about that structure of your structure.
Yeah, we really do have a lot of relationships. As I mentioned earlier, having strong partnerships and relationships locally, regionally, statewide, and nationally has really placed CATMA in a unique to be able to help people connect the dots to transportation solutions. We collaborate closely with our transportation providers, as I mentioned, to ensure their services are aligned with the employer and developer needs. We serve on local, regional, and state committees to ensure transportation investments reflect local and regional priorities. We engage with municipalities and the Vermont legislature and both the House and Senate transportation committees, and sharing our collective data from our membership that really demonstrates how TDM works in practice and the success and the value. We also have active membership in the Transportation for Vermonters Coalition since 2017. And this is a coalition made up of various sectors and organizations to achieve a sustainable, accessible transportation network in our rural state. So we really have a wide variety of partners that we work with. And of course, our commuters. I mean, the people that are employed and working and living at our CATMA membership, they're the ones that are taking the bus to and from work, or taking a bike, to get around. So the commuters are the real champions, the ones that are on the ground taking the action. So that just describes a bit of CATMA's reach in our region, which is pretty diverse.
And one of the things you emphasize with me is advocacy. Tell us what the advocacy component is all about.
Yeah, and as I was just describing, some of our advocacy efforts working with local, regional, state, and national organizations and municipalities. At the national level, CATMA is a member of ACT, the Association for Commuter Transportation. New England is the Patriot chapter, and they have a lobbyist that works at the federal level to advocate for TDM and sustainable transportation funding and investment. So we're really fortunate to be a member of that organization at the federal level. And then at the state level, we work very closely with the Vermont Agency of Transportation, the Go Vermont program. And we continually work together to also advocate and be sure that our commuters are supported with transportation options and the information that they need. I also talked a bit about the Transportation for Vermonters Coalition. This is a great organization that's been in existence for about 8 years now. And they meet regularly with their stakeholders, and we continually are collaboration at the State House. Vermont's a rural state. We want to ensure that people are connected and can be connected throughout the state. I mean, we're in Chittenden County, we have some really good, robust transportation options. And there are some really great transportation options in other areas of rural areas of the state. Advanced Transit and Tri-Valley Transit, are some other great service providers in the state. So how can we better connect Vermonters throughout the state? So we we work a lot with the T4VT coalition on those efforts.
Well, that's great. Well, tell us about this transportation summit that's coming up on October 14th. Give us some details about that.
Oh, I would be happy to. Really excited. This is our fourth annual Transportation Summit. It is happening Tuesday, October 14th at the UVM Davis Center. And this year, our theme is Future in Motion, Elevating Transportation and Housing and Economic Growth. This theme was inspired knowing that transportation is a common thread through a lot of sectors: housing, economic development, sustainability. And it really seemed like a time with Vermont's robust housing goals planned ahead that we connect transportation with housing. And as our population grows, we need to be sure that we're investing and collaborating in sustainable transportation solutions for our Vermonters. Our summit this year will feature a keynote, which I'm thrilled about, the Murnovator. We'll have a moderated panel in the morning that talks about the intersection of transportation, housing, and growth.
Mm-hmm.
We have about a dozen interactive sessions offered throughout the day for participants to pick and choose what they'd like to learn more about. And then closing out the day, we have a panel of Vermont policy leaders to discuss where we are today and where we might be on the horizon. So tickets are on sale through end of day, September 30th, and they are available at catmavt.org. And I will note anyone listening today that is a CATMA member or partner in our Transportation Coordinator Network are eligible for an additional discount on their ticket. So super excited about the program that we designed. It's going to be very dynamic, very interesting, and very timely conversation. And we hope to bring in some new voices into the transportation conversation this year.
And once this is held, what is the next plan? What is done? Do you have a summary of it, or do you have any follow-up sessions or things of that nature?
Right now, we have this annual summit. This is a large event. We're a small staff coordinating and planning this event. So this is our main event of the year, and we will be providing some recordings of some of the keynotes and the general sessions. And then the breakout sessions, if the presenters have a presentation, we are able to share that with folks who attend the summit. We also, this year, I want to say I'm very grateful for the sponsors that returned and are new to supporting this event this year. This year, we had some new sponsors sign on to the slate of our sponsorships. So we have some contractors, we have PC Construction, DEW, Whiting Turner, and it's really exciting. They are the ones that are building the homes. And so having them engaged and understand and learn more about transportation is really exciting this year. And also to our platinum sponsor, Go Vermont, and our gold sponsor, the Chittenden County Regional Planning Commission, and all the sponsors. We couldn't do this without their support.
It's a huge list. I suppose that's listed on your website, so people can see who's helping you put this on.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. We do have a page on our website dedicated to this summit where people can see the program, the schedule, presenters, the sponsors, and how to register. So all the information is there to give people an idea of the incredible program.
Well, one of the things we like to do here at Positively Vermont is ask, what do you need? How people, businesses, legislators can assist you. What would you like? What kind of help would you want?
Well, I think the help that we want is for employers and developers, particularly in Chittenden County, to reach out to CATMA. We're really eager to hear about transportation challenges and opportunities to create a TDM plan for a site. We can help reduce parking demand and cut costs for developers. Parking is very expensive to build. Um, it can be up to $20,000 to $30,000 for a parking space to build and maintain it. So we would like to hear from employers and developers on how we can support them and navigate transportation solutions for their site. And I think for individuals, I would just ask, think about how you're getting to work or to your groceries or appointments. Like, could you try biking or taking the bus or carpooling, even if it's one day a week? And we want to hear your stories on challenges and experiences, good or bad, when you're using alternative transportation options. The legislators want to hear these stories, and it's really important that they hear the voice and experiences and ideas of people that are on the ground using these transportation options. So those would be my asks to the community.
That's great. Well, how can people get more information about your organization and how they can participate?
Yes, they can go to the CATMA website, which is catmavt.org, CATMAVT.org. And all the information is there about our commuter programs and all the TDM resources, our events, our social media. And we hope that people will always feel free to reach out to us with any transportation questions or challenges or advice. We have been in existence for several decades and have some really strong partnerships, and we can usually connect people to a resource or a partner that could better assist them. Yeah, I would just remind people that reducing single occupant vehicles isn't just good for the climate. It's good for our communities. It's good for our economy and quality of life in our daily lives.
Now, we're gonna have winter pretty soon. It's only September 23rd, but things are gonna get we don't know what the weather is going to be, but how does your organization assist in the possibility of some massive bad weather?
In the winter, definitely you see seasonal commutes, in the spring, summer, fall, as long as there's no snow on the ground or ice, people are out biking and walking. And we have some people that do bike year round. What CATMA tends to do is turn more into supporting and educating people on taking the bus or ramping up carpool matches and van pool programs. And we have some great park and rides here in the state where people can meet and hop in a carpool. So we tend to move towards those types of commutes.
With the upcoming legislative session and also Congress meeting, do you have any interest in any particular bills that will be coming before them?
At this moment, the Transportation for Vermonters Coalition is meeting. Actually, they have a summit, they have a retreat this Friday where we'll be meeting to prepare for our strategy on policy development for the legislature in this coming session. So at this moment, I mean, we know Congress and the government, there's a lot of movement and activities, uncertainties. So we'll be meeting as a group of stakeholders to determine what our strategy will be and our priorities will be in policy for the upcoming session at our retreat this Friday.
That's great. Okay, well, keep us informed, and we'll probably have you back in the near future to discuss all of these developments. And thank you for appearing today with us. My guest has been Sandy Thibault, the Executive Director of CATMA, the Chittenden Area Transportation Management Association. Thank you, Sandy, and thank you all for watching.
Thank you so much for having me.